Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm running through a 10-man PPR fantasy football mock draft. We want to help you win your draft to win your league. Let's get this fantasy football podcast started right now. Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Fantasy Football Upside Podcast. This is Kyle. Justin's not here right now. But like I said before, I'm going to walk you through a 10-team PPR fantasy football mock draft today. That's right. We're going to get through this thing a little bit easier than I had the ability to say that apparently. But let's go ahead and dive into what we've got set up here. We've got the mock screen set up here. And as you can see, we've got PPR set up here. We've got 10 team. Let's go ahead and randomize, see what position we get in. Fifth, I feel like we've had that a whole lot, but let's just roll with it. Let's see. All right, we've got one flex. This is a standard roster. One QB, two running backs, three wide receivers, one tight end, one flex, one defense, one kicker, 6 bench spots. We're going to go ahead and hit start your draft, and let's see what happens here. We've got the 5th pick. We're looking at hopefully a pass-catching running back falling to us. Let's see what hits us, though. All right. Wow, Saquon and Zeke both fell, along with Austin Eckler. That's pretty good. Gosh, man, Eckler's pretty tempting down there, actually, right now. In my mind, I think that's not sure why he's rated where he is in a PPR, but I do like Barkley a whole lot. He is coming off injuries, having trouble with that stuff, but he is a great pass-catching back. I think Zeke is on path for a good year this year with Dak healthy and back. Hopefully he's catching a lot of passes out of the backfield. So if you find him falling to you, that's pretty good. And I think that we're just going to go ahead and grab Barkley here and just move on. Again, we're leaning towards the running backs at the front end here just because the PPR value is so much greater there, unless you're going with a high volume pass catcher at wide receiver. We do have Antonio Gibson. That is a good option there. We're looking at like the 16th pick roughly. That's not terrible. But I think wide receiver is also a good opportunity here. DeAndre Hopkins is probably in line for a good amount of balls. Calvin Ridley is there too. We like Calvin Ridley a whole lot. He's our 4th overall. He, Justin Jefferson, and DK Metcalf, I think, are all ahead of Hopkins in my rankings. I'm going to go with Ridley. I've been getting a whole lot of Ridley in the 2nd round, and I really like that, I think. That is really good. Metcalf is really good too, but he splits a lot of catches. So does Justin Jefferson, whereas you've got a wide receiver 1 and Calvin Ridley with not a whole lot of competition on wide receiver front there. You got Russell Gage, you got Kyle Pitts, you got a few other guys there that might steal some stuff from him. All right, let's look at overall and see what we're looking at. We've got Justin Jefferson, who fell down the board. Michael Thomas, his volume catcher if Drew Brees were still hanging around, but he's not. Running back, I think we've just got the 2 picks right now, all right? Barkley and Ridley. I think I'm going to go with Jefferson, actually. That's not a bad pick. I think that's a good value. Keenan Allen's sitting there. It's a slight reach, but he wouldn't be there when it comes back around to me. The issue with Keenan Allen for me is just a lack of consistency across weeks. It's just tough. And he made all of his catches in the first half. He got hurt then, and then he wasn't the same again. Justin Jefferson, super reliable. That's what that Vikings offense seems to be. It's just even. There's no big blow-ups always, out of the wide receivers at least, but there's that opportunity there. All right, let's see what comes off the board. Looks like we've got Josh Allen's off the board already here in the 4th round. Of a 10-man league. That's a real early grab there in my mind. Let's see what's at running back. It's gotten a bit thin. I think that David Montgomery is in for a lot of pass-catching work this year. Chris Carson, they always say he's in for pass-catching work, right? Just never really comes through. Gosh, man, the value at wide receiver is hanging around there. It's really good. But I think that some of that will still be there. Fingers crossed when it comes back. Might be. I think running back is the way to go here. Dobbins is okay, but Montgomery, I think, is in line for a lot of work. Josh Jacobs is down there. I think he's going to lose some of his pass catching work, which wasn't a whole lot really in the in the end last season. So we're going to go with David Montgomery and move on here. All right, we're heading into the fifth pick. Wide receiver thinned out a little bit, I think. Running back is still hanging around. So it's interesting. Dobbins is still there. Let's see what we've got. We've got 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. And I think that we go wide receiver here potentially. Although Dobbins is a great pick right here. Super valuable. Like, great value pick. Deontay Johnson's not a bad idea. Cooper Kupp is a pretty good idea too. And, we have a real chance there of having 3 elite wide receivers with what we're talking about. But, gosh, J.K. Dobbins being available here, am I not aware that he's hurt or something? I don't know why he's sitting there. We're going to grab Dobbins and just hope that something falls to us at wide receiver again here, I suppose. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad result here, guys. We've got T. Higgins and Ayuk. They're definitely wide receiver 2 type of guys at best, right? Wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. I don't think that's terrible. We just managed to snag a 3rd running back off the board here that we shouldn't have been able to get, really. All right, let's see. We're in 6th round. There's still some value at running back here. Not as much value as what we grabbed when we grabbed J.K. Dobbins. There's still some value there. There's a few guys we could hold off on, but we're looking at bench spots. And so let's go wide receiver here. We're going to end up reaching probably to grab the wide receiver. We are in the 6th round. If we wanted to go ahead and aim for a tight end here, we could. I do like Logan Thomas. I think we can hold off on him for a little while. At QB, Lamar Jackson is still available. So is Dak Prescott. We're in the 6th round. I'm going to wait on that too. And I'm going to go back here to wide receiver. And for me, it's Higgins here, I think. I prefer him over Ayuk. Not that I don't like Ayuk. I would take either one of them if they were both available. I like T. Higgins a lot better. He made a lot more last year out of a lot less opportunity than you would hope for. All right, looks like a few of the QBs did fly off the board here, but we do have an opportunity to grab somebody like Justin Herbert. And I think that's actually a pretty good value at this point. Running back, wide receiver, I think we're going to hold off on both of those. We would consider at this point, I think, between QB and tight end. Logan Thomas is still hanging out there, and I think he should be able to fall to the 8th round. We'll see. There's a couple other guys that I like there, but yeah. Pitts, I think, is a little overdrafted for his ADP. His ADP wouldn't, or his pick here wouldn't be a terrible pick, but we do have Ridley there already. I think we're just going to go with Justin Herbert and get that value. That's a really good pick. We're picking like the 65th pick, getting him his ADP. They're saying is 58, so not bad at all. All right, here we are. Let's see what fell to us at tight end in the 8th round. Still the same, roughly the same guys. I think we hold off one more round and see what happens. Maybe. We're going to compare that against these other things. We've got guys like Jerry Jeudy hanging out there. Curtis Samuel, that's not a bad grab. We do have Tyler Boyd, but we already have T. Higgins. I'm worried about the pass catchers in Miami, just that offense in general. Tua concerns me. I don't think that they were really sold completely in Miami on Tua. I think they were willing to try to make a deal and get rid of him just because his accuracy, it was surprisingly bad outside of the pocket and on the move. Like really, really bad. Missing guys, throwing the ball 3 yards behind them on like crossing routes and stuff. It was concerning to watch. I think I'm going to go with running back here, though, actually, and hold off on tight end. Darrell Henderson is moving up boards. I don't know where he would be most appropriate just yet. I haven't figured that out with Cam Akers out. And I'm going with James Robinson. I think people are just sleeping on him because they think, oh, Etienne's coming in here and he's going to steal all this stuff out of. I see Etienne they're going to keep him on the field a whole lot, but as a pass catcher mostly. So it's just my feel on it. Tight end is still hanging out there. At some point we have to pull the trigger on that or we're going to be waiting forever. And we're in the 9th round. It would be a good opportunity to do it. We're looking at bench positions really for the rest of these picks other than tight end. And wide receiver is decent. There's a couple picks that I'd like there at this spot. Running back is still actually quite valuable. There's not much that I would go and grab ahead of somebody like Logan Thomas here, who I do like a whole lot. Justin likes Dallas Goedert a lot more than I do. We both kind of like Noah Fant. We're looking for that breakout. I think if Teddy Bridgewater's the QB, I think you get it. Can't guarantee that just yet, but what I do know is that Logan Thomas is going to have Ryan Fitzpatrick slinging the ball around, and that offense, I think, is going to throw a whole lot. Last year, they threw 601 passes among 4 guys, and this year, they've only got the one QB who's going to be a starter, so I think that's the move there. I think he's going to be a really good opportunity next year, or this coming season. All right, wide receiver is a bit picked over. Jarvis Landry's hanging out there. It's okay. I'm not a huge fan of that Cleveland offense in general. I do like the running backs. I will say that. I like both of those. So I've been seeing Kareem Hunt fall down the draft boards quite often, and it's a bit surprising. Let's see here. Where are we? It's a bit of a reach at wide receiver right now, and the running back is actually a little bit better as far as value. I would say I've got my tiers a little bit different, so that I think that wide receivers are probably a little bit more valuable here in my mind. But what we're looking at is a backup running back, kind of. We've already got one. Let's see here. Let's go. I'm going to reach down here and grab Trey Sermon. Since we already have James Robinson, we're reaching a little bit, and we can do that. I think we can do that there. And Trey Sermon, if you haven't been paying attention, Jeff Wilson is donezo, I think, for the year at least, possibly. And then Raheem Mostert is having trouble making it to the field. So he's going to come out guns blazing, and as a running back, they usually step right in and start producing right away. At wide receiver, we're looking at a lot of reaches. It looks like it's not terrible reaches, but not sure that I would go and do that right now. We could go and grab somebody. I mean, Tampa's running backs are there. I don't know what the story is going to be with either of them. We do have A.J. Dillon hanging out here. I do like A.J. Dillon because I think that he's got a guaranteed level of production. David Johnson, there's a lot of mouths to feed in that offense, and I don't think he's secured that spot just yet. If we go to wide receiver, let's see here. We've got Justin Herbert. We could go grab Mike Williams here. It's a bit of a reach, right? But it's not terrible, especially since we get to definitely have that. I think we're going to go with Mike Williams. Yeah, let's just go. We're running out of time. I would consider running back here as well, but we're going to go with Mike Williams. We've already got a bunch of running backs on the bench, though. It's probably appropriate to go ahead and grab that 4th wide receiver here in that 11th round, right? That's 0 wide receiver. Is that what I'm doing here? I guess so. All right. It's pushing that tight end back at us. Marvin Jones, just another mouth to feed. Darnell Mooney, I think, could be the wide receiver 2 for the Bears this year. So that's a good value to pick here. Russell Gage as well could be wide receiver 2. That's really wide receiver 2 for Atlanta, not overall, guys. It's kind of what we're looking at here at this point is guys who we're hoping are performing as a wide receiver 2, so that if we end up having an injury, they're able to slot in. At running back, it looks like A.J. Dillon. Yeah, he went off the board a couple picks ago. Latavius Murray is sitting there. It's a little early for that. It's a bit of a reach. And I'm okay not doing that. Nyheim Hines, that's not bad. But I think we need to get another wide receiver. So let's go ahead and grab Darnell Mooney. Let's see here. Move on. Okay. And we're just going to keep stacking running backs and wide receivers if we can here. Get 2 more picks on our bench, and then we're going to go defense and kicker, probably in that order. Another wide receiver 2 for a team that's going to want to throw a whole lot, and that's Mecole Hardman. I think Jalen Reagor, there's a lot of question marks there. You got T.Y. Hilton available. Let's look at the running back and see where we are. Look, I'm a Packers fan, as you can tell. I like Robert Tonyan, But the concern I have is that he only had, I think, 59 targets or catches last year, and he went for like 11 TDs. That's just an unrealistic percentage. And so for him to perform at the level that he did last year would be very, very complicated, very hard for him to do. And that offense, I think, would have to change in a lot of respects. So I don't like their suggestion that I should go and get him. Jamal Williams is already operating as the running back 2 in Detroit. I don't know what the plan is there with Dan Campbell, so that's a concern. Got Latavius Murray. I think I'm going to go back to wide receiver and just make that reach and grab Mecole Hardman here. I think that's the guy I want to grab. So that's what I'm going to do. Grab Mecole Hardman, and then if Latavius Murray ends up falling, we'll go grab him. Do have Devontae Booker falling in, or for the Giants hanging around there. Let's see what happened over. Yeah, so we've got Latavius Murray still sitting on the board. He and Alexander Mattison are the only two I would consider, but I do think that Murray has a clearer path to carries than Mattison does. Mattison, I think, requires a little bit more, requires an injury out of Dalvin Cook a little bit more to generate production. He does steal a lot of stuff. He does. And every once in a while, he'll bust a touchdown from 25 yards out. But that's few and far between. He's probably not in your lineup when it happens. Not that Latavius Murray's going to do that as well, but, you know, that's an offense that I think wants to run a lot of plays, and he's not a bad back. So let's go ahead and grab him, and we'll get that defense and kicker squared away. All right, defense. Here we go. Washington, that's a good one that fell down the board here to us. Kickers, none of them have come off the board. Let's go ahead and grab that Washington defense. We'll break down defenses a little bit later on, so maybe make sure that you stay tuned with us. We'll break down some of our power rankings, what happened with them last year, and what we see having changed or not changed to make them better or worse this year. So we're going to go with Washington at defense. And then at kicker, I mentioned this last episode in the last mock draft that I did that Jason Sanders is actually our number one kicker from last year. So I'll go ahead and grab him, and we'll get this thing closed out here, guys. So thank you for hanging around and checking out this draft. What we ended up with here as our rosters, we got Justin Herbert at QB, Saquon Barkley, David Montgomery starting running backs, Calvin Ridley, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Logan Thomas. Flex, we ended up with J.K. Dobbins. Defense, we got Washington football team. Kicker, we got Jason Sanders. And then our bench, we ended up with James Robinson, Trey Sermon, and Latavius Murray at running back. And wide receivers, we got Mike Williams, Darnell Mooney, and Mecole Hardman. So overall, I think it's a pretty darn good lineup there, or roster. I think it's going to be a pretty successful one in a PPR situation. We're looking at a lot of high-volume pass-catching guys. That's what our goal was there, and I think we managed to get those guys set up for us. So that's going to do it for this Friday mock draft. I hope that you enjoyed it, and check us out next week. We've got a bunch of new stuff coming down the pike. We're getting ready to set up for a whole month of episodes, actually, guys. I think we might be doing a whole episode every day to run up to the draft weeks or draft season for everybody. In addition to that, make sure you head over to our website and check out our draft kit there. It's the Victory Draft Kit. It's got a lot of information. It's going to help you win your draft to win your league. You can check us out at ffbupside.com. We'll see you later. Bye.